Huntington Bank Field in downtown Cleveland. Today, we've got a Week 13 matchup for you here, as it'll be the LA Chargers taking on the Cleveland Browns.
Chad Ryland to kick off.
The kicker, Chad Ryland, has this one teed up. And off we go from Cleveland. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. On the ground, this is Omarion Hampton. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Offense looked a little bit discouraged after that play, shaking their heads a bit, looking at each other. I think they thought they'd get a lot more out of that call. Sometimes you do get the running lane you want. And other times, the defensive front, they just break up the play before it can get going.
2nd down and 8.
Set.
A run once more with Hampton. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
Good, strong, explosive run that started inside, which means you've got to control those defensive linemen, the defensive tackles, the nose guards. Those guys have to be controlled. How about the offensive line, the job they just did?
Yeah, key that A-gap usually on those runs, right?
That's where it all starts, because everyone wants to kind of control that area. It disrupts things from the defensive side and the offensive side. As we just saw, it opens up possibilities.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
A play fake, and now Herbert to throw. Open man right side, that's McConkey. And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Ladd McConkey, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Chargers get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Extra point up and good by Dicker. And it's now a 7-0 game. Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
26-yard line.
Looking to put a drive together. Now the former volunteer, it's Dylan Sampson. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a 1st down. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. That's taken in. It's Isaac to Slaw. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal.
first down. Sampson
taken down at the 30.
The Browns had 5 and 6 to start play.
Well, they were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So you know they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Benjamin St-Juste.
And he brings this one back. It's a pick six and a Charger TD.
Dicker down to tack on the extra point.
And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead.
14. Browns nothing. Cameron Dicker to kick off for the Chargers.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
35-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started.
Yeah, they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week, and you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, because what's that old malaprop? If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Because this crew, they're losing ground fast. They've got to start winning some ball games. And the good teams, they're starting to separate themselves, and these guys are being left behind.
But you talk about the defense for these Chargers.
They played really well in the win over the Raiders a week ago.
And the big thing for them was the interceptions. And you hear teams all the time talk about establishing themselves against the pass. You know, no-fly zones and things of that nature. This group had a bunch of them in last week's game.
Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
This defense has passed its first two tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on third down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
70 Lions.
On third down, Sampson.
And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield.
A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. But you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And he's got this down to the 35. That's another gain of 15 on back-to-back plays.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's second down.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short game.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Back to throw here. Now he'll tuck this and run. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And the Chargers are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line.
A feather in the cap for the defender, picking off one of the league's better quarterbacks so far this season, and add another feather in the cap for the coaches, too. Excellent game plan, and they had their guys aware of his ability to roll out and how to defend against it.
The Charger drive about to get going. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. First and 10. They'll go for a gain of 7. And that'll make it second down. They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert. That's complete. Lambert Smith.
And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. That one good for 26 and a first down.
6 yards.
And a nice call and really good execution there because they gave him a little bit of a different launch angle perhaps, you know. You don't want to have the quarterback dropping back 5 to 7 steps on every play and have the defense zero in on it. There you hope that you get your defense going one way. They sent him the other, and they picked up nice yardage with that completion.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Charger football to start quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. Herbert going to give to Hampton. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Trying to run for it with Hampton. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
It's now 4th down and less than a yard.
Too long for a field goal, too short to punt. That in-between range, and they'll go for it on 4th down. They snap it to Herbert. That's to his running back, complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration. So the drive will indeed continue. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Ray.
Here's Herbert. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
Up the middle, it's Hampton. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
When a drive goes this long, you have to give a lot of credit to the guys up front, those big fellas, because the offensive line is putting something together that allows them to continue to control the ball. And I know a lot of people think they get fatigued on a long drive. Actually, a lot of times the reverse happens. They actually get energized because they're controlling the ball, and they're the ones dictating to the defense.
And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 15-yard line. The Chargers passing game rolling a bit here. They've got another first.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
On first down, it's Hampton. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Herbert off of play action. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
The plan was clearly to challenge them by sending a blitz on 2nd down, but even the extra guys couldn't catch him in the backfield, though. He doesn't scramble for a first, but he does get the last laugh by evading the blitz and getting beyond the line of scrimmage.
2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. Back to throw here, Herbert.
To the left side, he's got McConkey. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Lad McConkey with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Chargers take a 3-touchdown lead. Extra point up and good by Dicker. And that makes the score 21-0. So after the touchdown, here's Dicker out to kick this one off. Now a crease here as he's past the 30.
The Browns take over first and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor. But thank you, Dr. Davis. Rookie to rookie on the hook up there, and it's a first down.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Let's go now. Go.
Up the middle they go. Sampson. And he's going to get across midfield and into Charger territory. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
2nd and 3. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 20-yard line. The first-round pick looking comfortable in this offense. First down. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Touchdown, Browns! From 19 yards away. And the Browns are able to cut into that deficit. So on this drive, the rookie leads him into the end zone, Charles, and that helps cancel out the points that were created on the previous drive when he threw the interception.
Yeah, let's give some credit to this rookie because instead of hanging his head after his mistake leads to a touchdown, he comes back out and he's firing and made up for it right there. A well-executed series that helps reestablish some confidence in him to run this offense.
Now the Browns offense will stay on the field as they'll go for 2 here.
The Browns will line up.
They're going to keep it on the ground. Defensively, certainly not fooled there. Play started at the 2 and he was tackled at the 2.
That has to feel good for them. Not happy about having given up the touchdown, but stopping the 2-point conversion gives them a little bit of a lift as they head to the bench.
And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Charger drive about to get going. And now consider the lead. The question is, how much is good enough? Are you going for more?
It's the NFL. There's never enough, I believe, because they get reeled in all the time when you sit on the ball. I think that they will try and move the ball downfield and try and squeeze a few more points out of this first half. They'll be careful. They'll be a little bit cautious at times, but also they will attack downfield and try and get position for at least 3 points.
Second and 10.
Ram. Set. Balin Tiger. Ready.
Herbert now. This one finds McConkey. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
Set. Real.
Play action. It's Herbert. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Savon Rebel. And just shedding him off there. And the Browns are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield.
He's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness has been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would not rein him back in. The return on investment thus far has been pretty good. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
First and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Looking to throw. He'll swing this out to Sampson. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half.
Well, they use him a lot out of the backfield. He had 5 catches a week ago, and he makes another catch here for good yardage.
Let's go now. 60 Eagles, Buffalo 18.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity, because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
Tag. Panthers, 19 Lions. 60 average. Trap 60. Trap 60. Let's go.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. A big 3rd down pickup of 20 yards. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Buffalo 80. Warriors 17. Panther 11. Panther 11. 18 Rattler. 18 Rattler. Take go.
Back to throw again. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Browns are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert.
Now the Browns offense will stay on the field as they'll go for 2 here.
The Browns will line up for the 2-point conversion.
That's caught at the 2. And he is into the end zone. So they get 2 more on the board here just before halftime. And I guess that makes up for the earlier missed 2-point try here to get him to 14.
Yeah, that aggressiveness reminds me a lot of when basketball first adopted the 3-point shot. And people were starting to realize that 3 for 2 was really starting to work for them. In this case now, maybe the 2 for 1 is coming into play in the NFL.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. And only 6 seconds on the clock, so time likely for just 1 play. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. Going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
Looking to put a drive together. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Open man, that's too small.
And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. A big play that time for Cleveland. And even 50 yards.
Just a breakdown there defensively. It looked like someone got their wires crossed because no one seemed to pick him up at all. He's running free, and there's not a quarterback in the league who's going to miss that throw. That's a huge play.
So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 27. Now a handoff up the middle. Sampson. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
So that flag obviously takes away the good yardage that they had on the play.
And talk about a momentum shift, because we can visibly see this celebration shifting from one side of the field to the other as soon as everyone saw the flag.
19 tight. 19 tight. 79 Broncos.
They'll set up to throw.
That's caught left side by Judy.
Will go down as a gain of 6. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Let's go now. 70 Lions.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Now he's going to step up. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down.
Tui Pelotu
In there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Facing some long odds here if they hope to convert, as they're well behind the original line of scrimmage.
18 Cardinal. 18 Cardinal. Mustang 19. 60 Maverick. 60 Maverick. Let's go.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually an excellent target and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
A 53-yard attempt.
And this one is right down the middle. And that'll bring him back within 4.
So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got 3 there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get the ball back for us.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. They have played so strongly. You look at the scoreboard, you probably, with the way they played, you would think the margin would be a lot bigger, right?
You would, and in your experience, how many times have we run into coaches where they've talked about, hey, we just want to put it in the hands of our defense and have them win the game? In this case,
not the case.
Not at all. You want to put it in the hands of your offense, but you always feel better about saying defense because you think defense is a constant and offense kind of comes and goes. Today, this game, no, they need their offense to stay on a really hot level.
They've been hot so far. And they're able to get this one across the 35. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a 1st down here.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Herbert takes it and just pops it forward.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on it before he could get much out of it.
From the 38 now, here comes 2nd and 8. They'll work inside here. Hampton. And some room to maneuver. Still on his feet. Inside the 10. Touchdown, LA! Omarion Hampton. That's his 19th rushing touchdown of the year. And they are able to add on to their advantage.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
Extra point up and good by Dicker.
And that pushes the lead up to 11.
Now after the Dicker field goal, he's back out ready to send it away.
Well, a dangerous return man showing it here.
And they'll have this all the way out to the 50-yard line. Excellent field position.
It's the third quarter, and they're down on the scoreboard. And while no one wants to hit the panic button just yet, points are a necessity on this drive. What a great way to get set up.
Looking to put a drive together. They'll run on first down. Sampson.
And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. Second down.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Second and 6. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. On third down, he'll drop to throw.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
First and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Let's go now. Drop low 80.
On first down, Sampson.
And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. 52 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful with it.
Second and 11 at the 19-yard line.
Second and 11.
Now he'll tuck this and run. That's complete right side. It's to Slaw.
And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. He'll drop to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
He fights forward for a couple with a penalty flag down. And the linemen, they're already walking back.
Ready, break.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Browns on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. They'll drop to throw. Back in the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Here's Chad Ryland now on for the field goal.
From the right hash, it's a 35-yard attempt. And his kick here is good. And that'll make this an 8-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get it the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
At their own 35-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. The field goal we just saw has us now at a 1-score game, and on this side of the football, things are getting pretty tenuous, a little stressful.
Blood pressure up a little bit, you think?
I think up a lot of it.
Could you imagine taking the pulse right now? It might be like a jackhammer out there on that side of the ball, but here's what the deal is. I think what we've observed is a team that's been playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win. They've got to get back to that, and that means opening things up again, being a little more free in what they're trying to get done on offense.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Herbert. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
With a dime look on defense, 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, here's Herbert. He'll try and do this himself. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. They'll get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Out of the gun, Herbert. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And a nice job to break free of 1 tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
That's complete. Lambert Smith. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. And on 3rd down, the Browns going to go with a nickel set. Throwing quickly, and Herbert completes it. There he goes left side. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. Keandre Lambert-Smith, 45 yards. And the Chargers add on to their lead, and they are also closing in on a 5th straight victory. Extra point up and good by Dicker. And the lead is up to 15 now. Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. And he returns this to the 22.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal is the way of doing it. Makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Here's 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. gets him in stride. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And he's brought down.
That's another Browns first down. First and 10 at the 41-yard line.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's first and 10. Hands it off out of the gun.
And a decent gain there as that takes us to the 2-minute warning.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
At the Chargers' 36-yard line.
Here comes second down at 5.
They'll look to throw. Oh, he's got him in wide open, complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland.
Isaac to Slaw, 36 yards. And the Browns get a bit closer.
Okay, so they got the score. Do you go for 1 here and save the possible 2-point conversion for later?
I think you do, because if you go for 2 here and you don't get it, that's deflation.
Yeah.
Now you wonder why you're even going for it. Take the easy one now and come back and try and get it later.
The Browns will line up for the 2-point conversion.
It's caught at the 1, but he will not get into the end zone. And that one hurts, as it will remain a 2-score game here in the 4th. 2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And this will not work out. The Chargers able to recover. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. They're going to pass here with Herbert. They'll set up the screen to Hampton. Down the sideline he goes. Touchdown, LA! Omari and Hampton with touchdown number 20 on the year. And the Chargers are closing in on win number 10 as they extend this 4th quarter lead. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
And this one incomplete. So they went for the 2. They don't get it.
So after the touchdown, here's Dicker out to kick this one off.
Escaping a tackler at the 25.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here's first and 10.
They'll try and start this drive in the air.
Now, quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
And let's face it, this defense has had its share of struggles all game long, and they know that they can put it all behind them if they defend well here in the 2-minute drill. Excellent coverage right there to force the incompletion.
Here's second down.
They'll set up a throw. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete.
Well, he's had the interception woes in this one, Charles, and that time a little bold to throw it into double coverage, but he beat the double coverage.
Yeah, but I admire that he still will challenge defenders downfield, even though the ball's been in jeopardy a few times in this game. A nice ball there against multiple defenders, and they advance it downfield.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
He's going to wind up and air it out. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Sheds off the tackle. And the Chargers are going to get it back here just past the 35. The Charger drive about to get going. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Quick hitter here, it's complete. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be second down.
And I think he just wanted to get the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area, and after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
With the late lead, Herbert's going to throw it. Now he's going to step up and run. And he'll just get rid of it.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Now it's Herbert. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Charger first down, and that should be the one that gets him to the finish line.
And the Chargers first down.
Herbert now.
First down, Chargers.
He'll let this go for the end zone. And this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on.
I certainly like the idea. You're down on their side of the field. Get your big play guy involved. That time, they put one up for him to see if he can pull it down in the end zone, but the coverage was good, and it winds up incomplete.
Now a 2nd and 10. Herbert throwing again. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. And as the 2 teams talking over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. A shotgun snap for Herbert. Trying to lay one up deep. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Los Angeles, they continue to be one of the best teams around as they move to 10-2. And they'll get another road date next week. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, it was a win they needed to turn the season around, but instead, they fall to 5-7.